again. Not again. Good. Help! Get me out of these things! Is anyone out there?
I'm right here, Gary.
Oh, good. Can you get me out of these?
Hey, my Sistas fans. So this is my review on Sistas Season 8, new episode 17. This is the episode, people, that just came on Wednesday that just passed. So this is the episode that I'm reviewing right now. So like, share, and subscribe before I even start this review. Thank you guys for supporting me. I'm up to over 500 subscribers. So I want to say thank you all so very much. I truly appreciate it. So give me your thoughts on what you thought about episode 17. So guys, we start off the episode with Maurice and Paige at the bank. Okay, so Maurice and Paige are at the bank. They get this older lady who comes in and she's being real catty towards Maurice, right? So Maurice, in return, you already know how he gives it up, right? So he's, getting ready to give her the business. But Paige then steps in, right? So Paige steps in and she kind of takes up for Maurice, and I was really feeling that part. I was like, I could see them two on the show together, like making us laugh. So I did actually enjoy them two on that first scene, right? And then they seemed to try to, like get along or whatever. So it was really good. I did enjoy that. Then we go over to Gary in the hospital. People. Hudson is draining at this point. Is he in love with Gary? I'm confused what the writers are doing with Hudson. I'm like, is he obsessed? Do he really like Gary? Like, what is going on? The shit is like, to me, people, it's just not, I'm not understanding, like, what's the point in his role with Gary, because now it's looking like he might just be in love with Gary. He might, be, So I'm not sure where they're trying to go with that whole scene with him and Gary, because he is giving off obsessed and in love. Let's just say that. So moving right along to Tamara and Hayden. You know what, people? I really like their scenes. I do. They be giving. Okay, they scenes be giving. I'd be like, all right, let's see what's going on with these two, because they energy be out the window. Okay, so the scene comes on and Hayden is starting to get a little intimate with Tamara, but then he tells Tamara, how about, we do role play, you call me a name, and then he says to her, why don't you call me Gary? Now, people, if your man said to you, for you to call him another man's name that you slept with, you would think that nigga is crazy. Okay? Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to say that word. But, yeah, you would think he's crazy. Okay? So, I'm just like, Tamara, how do you expect Hayden to be acting right now? And then Hayden on top of that, how are you still even involved with Tamara? Why are you still entertaining Tamara if you feel the way you feel? If you feel like she violated you and she slept with Gary or whatever, why are you still entertaining it? You know what I mean? Like, why are you still trying to be with her? Clearly, because she's still living in the house. So clearly she's still he still wants to be with her in some strange sort of way. And I'm just like, come on now, be for real. If you want to keep talking about it, it doesn't make sense for you to be with her, right? Now, granted, people, I feel like okay, people, my video got cut. I don't even know what just happened, but yeah, I don't even know what just happened. But back to Tamara and Hayden. I just feel like Tamara and Hayden is not, I don't know how long this is going to last. And from the looks of it in that scene, one of the two of them actually stabbed Gary. That's what I'm thinking. One of them stabbed Gary. One of the two of them definitely stabbed Gary is what my conclusion came to. Now, would if I'm still not thinking that it would be Hayden, because Hayden is the main character of the show. So I don't see Hayden leaving the show. Like, I don't know if they would actually let Hayden be the one that stabbed Gary. Now, Tamara, I'm thinking that maybe it's a possibility that she may be leaving the show. I could be wrong, but I feel like maybe she could be the one that's leaving the show. So that is definitely possible. So then we went over to Rich and Jordan. Um, Y'all already know how I feel about Rich, Jordan. Their whole scene, speed draining. I just no interest. I'm not trying to really talk bad about them, but I have no interest when they start to show them because the conversations just be dry. You had Rich telling Jordan about the whole thing with Sabrina and how Sabrina he thinks Sabrina wants Damani to be her donor now that his situation he can't do it. And then you have Rich telling Jordan that he should call Andy and that they should talk it out. And then that was the end of that scene. And then we came over to Andy. So Andy is on her journey to get back her position at the law firm. So she's making calls, trying to get a good word in, for her whole situation. So that's basically what's going on with Andy and her scene. So I felt good about that. I'm like, all right, Andy, get back on your job. Get back on your job. So I'm like, Andy, get back on your job. I'm glad to see that she has basically took in Miss Marie advice and focused on herself and her position at the firm, and I do believe she'll get the position back. And then we scoot over to Robin meeting with Penelope. Now, I guys, I love me some Robin. Robin was not trying to hear Penelope come in for Andy. He was like, listen, you are the one that put yourself, Penelope, in the situation with Gary. She was the one that tried to help you out. I was living for that scene with them two talking because she must have thought she was going to pull something over on Robin. And Robin was like, no, I know Andy. It's not Andy. She already gave you the heads up on Gary. And you took it upon yourself to still involve yourself or still try to ask Gary questions. And you put yourself in the situation you was in with Gary, not Andy. So I was living for that. He shut her completely down. She was trying to get into business, trying to ask him why he still was in love with Andy. Is he still in love with Andy? I'm like, girl, what are you doing here? So I was enjoying that scene. So we move over from there and we go to Zach and Fatima. And so Fatima comes in and Fatima starts to talk to Zach about the whole meetup with her, Andy, Karen, and Miss Marie and the rest of them. So she said it was like a good meeting. So, things turned out good. They discussed a lot of things and she thought about a lot of things as well. So their scene, that first half of the scene was really quick. So they move from there and they go over to Miss Lisa talking to Karen. So now Karen sneaks back in the house after her mother already told her, I would like for you to stay off your feet. You are high risk pregnancy, so I would like for you to stay home. Now Karen did not have to leave. We all seen that Andy actually wanted her to stay home and talk over the phone, but Cameron just wanted to leave out. So she has her mom. Her mom's like, why'd you leave? If Andy, what's important is you making sure you have healthy babies. So that was kind of the end of that scene at that point. And then you go back to Tamara and Hayden. So now at this point, they are now accusing each other. Well, Tamara is accusing Hayden of being obsessed with Gary. Like, do you like him? Or are you in love with him? I was like, yeah, girl, right? Because what is going on here? So they are going backwards and forwards. They leave from there, and Sabrina, it goes to Sabrina at the bank. So Sabrina gets a call from Pam. So Pam wants to know what's going on with their business plan, and does Sabrina get to it? So Sabrina starts to explain that she had a lot going on, and boom, she's like, you know what? I need somebody to talk to, basically outside of the sister circle. So let me talk to Pam. I don't know if that was a good idea. I guess we'll see next episode. So then we go to the issue with Danny and Tony. So Danny is at work. Tony shows up, and Tony wants to kind of talk about the whole situation that happened with talking to HR. And I guess he's trying to get them to get their story together or something like that. I'm not sure what Tony's motive was to talk to Danny at the job. The issue with Danny and Tony. So Danny is at work. Tony shows up, and Tony wants to kind of talk about the whole situation that happened with talking to HR. And I guess he's trying to get them to get their story together or something like that. I'm not sure what Tony's motive was to talk to Danny at the job, because they're already at high risk of losing their job. So why would you want to even have a conversation or whatever? So I understood where Danny was coming from. So after that, we jump back to Jordan, and Jordan is now on the phone. He actually calls Andy because Bridge talks him up to it. So now he want to be with Andy. So I was feeling how Andy was giving him fever. Like, no, I'm not trying to be around you with your crazy sister smacking me and you taking up for her. So I was living for that part. I was really living for it. I was like, yes, Andy, no. Don't go be around him. Then we go back over to Penelope and Robin. Penelope still trying to get some kind of something out of Robin, which he was giving her nothing. We all know he wasn't giving her anything. He was not trying to talk bad about Andy. So in a mix of them being there, they actually they see Jordan. From what it looks like, that episode, that scene was over. But as we're looking at the next episode, it looks like Andy is going to walk in and Jordan is going to walk in on them at the table, and Penelope is going to try to touch Robin's face or something. I don't know, some dumb shit. So, all right, so this scene is over. So they go back to the scene with Fatima and Zach. Fatima and Zach are now trying to figure out what evidence can they get to give Agent Watt that takes the eye off of his hip, Zach and Fatima, and on Hayden and Tamara. So they decide, actually, I'm not even sure what they decide to do. I guess they decide to find the evidence. Matter of fact, I'm sorry, people. What they decided to do is make them play on each other and say, I guess Fatima will now go to Hayden and accuse Hayden, tell Hayden that maybe Tamara is saying different things, and maybe Zach will go to Tamara like, oh yeah, because Hayden said it was you or whatever. So that's what I'm assuming that they're trying to do with that. But we'll see on the next episode. Then we go back to Danny and Tony. No, we go back to Danny, and she has that little altercation with her co-worker. Now, the co-worker was being disrespectful. Did Danny have to throw the, coffee in his face? No, she didn't, but he needed it. Let's just be honest. He's doing too much. So I see that outcome, people, being that Danny is actually going to get fired from the job, but wrongfully she's going to get fired. So Andy is going to represent her to try to get her job back. And I'm thinking that she's going to have to represent Danny and Tony. Okay, people, so I think first she's going to be representing Danny, but then she's going to have to represent Tony because Tony was doing things he wasn't supposed to do. Let's just be clear. He wasn't supposed to be dating Danny, and they work together, and she's his, that's her boss. So then we go back to Gary trying to now convince the nurse that he would help her pay her debt if she helped him somehow get out of the hospital. Basically, I'm assuming without Hudson knowing, right? Because the problem is he doesn't think that Hudson, he's starting to look at Hudson sideways, like this guy is really crazy. You know what I mean? So he's trying to convince the nurse to let him out. And as we can see, she is definitely going to help him, right? Where he'll end up at, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking, people, he will definitely end up at Andy's house. So yeah, that's how that's going to go. Then you go back to Karen. Now, Karen's mom, it had called Aaron to let Aaron know that she wanted him to keep an eye on Karen while she goes and check on the shop. So what Karen doesn't know is exactly who her mom called until Aaron gets there. Aaron gets there and they have this whole love scene. But people, we already know Karen is just entertaining this because Fatima is pregnant now with Zach's baby. So now she really feels like it's a lost cause. She's not going to keep pursuing it, right? So we could forget about Karen still trying to pursue Zach. Yeah, she's still in love with him, but she's not going to continue to pursue him. Okay, so that scene is over. So before I end my review, people, I just want to say this. People have to be mindful of this is a series. This series come on every Wednesday, right? I'm not sure why people saying, why are we still on the same situation? For them, the same situation, we're in the same day though. So if it's every Wednesday, they're trying to break it up. It's being broken up, people. So all of this, oh, it's dragging. Why is it dragging so much? How fast do you want it to go? And it comes on every week. It's once a week. This is not real life. This is not everyday life that they're in. This is TV. So yeah, it's slow motion. Yes, people, it's slow motion. They are breaking up one day into like 4 or 5 episodes. So it's always going to seem like it's dragging. But if you look at it as a series and not put it on the pace of the way you're living day by day, you will be fine with the show. Like, I believe that it's been pretty good. I have really no real complaints about it. The only thing that may be dragging, in my opinion, is Karen being pregnant. That's the only thing that's dragging. We just got into this whole thing with Gary being stabbed. All right, we passed he got stabbed. He's in a hospital. It is on another scene already. Like we did go forward. He's getting ready to sneak out of the hospital. So we did go forward, people. So I wish people would stop. Like, give the show a chance. This is not everyday life. This is TV life. It's one day split into about 4 or 5 days. You can't tell by the way these people still have on the same clothes that we're in the same day. So it takes us at least 3 days to get to another day on the show. So if it takes us 3 days, it takes us damn near 3 weeks to get to another episode, right? To get to, okay, not to get to another episode, excuse me, but to get past a situation like with Sabrina and Tony. It may take us 2 episodes to get past it. Like, yeah, they're in the same day. So I just wanted people to be mindful of that. Sistas